So many gardeners spend months waiting for their compost piles to break down, hoping the end result will finally bring life back into their soil. But here's the surprise that flips everything you thought you knew about worms and composting. There's one everyday kitchen scrap that pulls worms into your garden beds faster than finished compost ever could. The moment you use it, worms come running, multiplying beneath your soil, leaving behind rich castings, and turning your garden into a fertile powerhouse. And the best part? You probably already have it sitting in your kitchen right now. What is this secret ingredient? Coffee grounds. Coffee grounds are more than just waste from your morning brew. They are a nutrient-dense, worm-attracting magnet that works far quicker than any compost pile. If you've struggled to boost worm activity, improve soil texture, or energize your plants, this one scrap will change the way you garden forever. Earthworms are drawn to organic matter, but coffee grounds have a special advantage. They contain nitrogen, one of the most critical nutrients worms seek out. Unlike bulky kitchen scraps like banana peels or vegetable leftovers, coffee grounds break down quickly and release their nutrients almost immediately into the soil. This makes them irresistible to worms because they can easily digest and process them. But that's not the only reason coffee grounds outshine compost. While compost takes months to mature, coffee grounds can be applied directly to the soil and start working within days. Worms sense the grounds almost instantly, tunneling through your garden beds, aerating your soil and enriching it with castings. With compost you wait, with coffee grounds you act today. When worms feed on coffee grounds, the result is worm castings, tiny, nutrient-packed droppings that act like supercharged fertilizer. Castings contain 5 times more nitrogen, 7 times more phosphorus, and 11 times more potassium than the organic matter worms consume. That means the more worms you attract, the more fertile your soil becomes. Coffee grounds also create the perfect soil structure for plant roots. They improve drainage in heavy clay soils, add organic matter to sandy soils, and balance moisture so plants never sit in soggy ground. The caffeine present in small traces even helps deter some harmful pests like slugs and snails, giving your crops an extra layer of protection. Unlike compost, which requires a delicate balance of browns and greens, coffee grounds are simple. They're ready to use, they don't attract pests like raw food scraps, and they blend into the soil with little effort. This is why gardeners who use them consistently see worm populations surge in just weeks rather than months. The secret to success with coffee grounds is knowing how much to use and how to prepare them. Too much at once can create a dense mat that prevents air from reaching the soil. Too little, and you won't see the full benefits. The sweet spot is about 2 cups of used coffee grounds per square foot of soil. For an even more powerful worm magnet, dilute your coffee grounds into a liquid feed. Here's the exact formula. Mix 2 cups of used coffee grounds with 1 gallon of water. Stir thoroughly and let it steep for 24 hours. After that, pour the liquid directly over your garden soil. This creates a nutrient-rich coffee tea that penetrates the soil quickly, drawing worms from surrounding areas and giving plants an instant boost. The leftover grounds from your brew can then be scattered lightly on the soil surface or work gently into the top inch of soil. So you'll want to repeat this process about every 2 weeks during the growing season. That steady flow of nutrients and organic matter, well, it'll keep worms constantly active, breaking down your soil, multiplying in number, and just feeding your plants continuously. The simplest method, honestly, is to just sprinkle the grounds in a thin layer across your garden beds. Worms, they're smart little critters, and they'll find their way to the surface and pull those grounds right down into the soil. Now, if you want even faster results, try mixing the grounds with some shredded cardboard or dried leaves before applying. The carbon from the cardboard balances out the nitrogen in the coffee, and that creates a real worm feast that'll keep them thriving. Another effective method, if you ask me, is to bury small handfuls of coffee grounds about 2 to 3 inches below the soil near your plant roots. This way, the grounds stay moist, they won't dry out on the surface, and it makes them a whole lot more accessible to the worms. You know, you can also add them into your compost pile as an accelerator, but if your goal is to draw worms faster, applying directly to the garden is far more effective. Compost is slow, coffee grounds are immediate. Although coffee grounds can improve soil for almost any crop, some plants thrive especially well when worms are active and soil fertility increases quickly. Leafy greens like lettuce, spinach and kale explode with growth in worm-rich soil. Root crops such as carrots, beets and radishes grow straighter and larger when the soil is loose and well aerated by worm activity. Even fruiting crops like tomatoes and peppers respond with deeper colour and higher yields when the soil is enriched with worm castings from coffee grounds. Now, while coffee grounds sure are a worm magnet, moderation is key, folks. Never go dumping large, thick layers onto your soil. That can actually lead to mould or even compaction, which, believe it or not, repels worms rather than attracting them. So always keep the layer thin and just mix it lightly into the soil surface. Another mistake gardeners often make is using only fresh, unused coffee grounds. These are just too acidic and can throw off your soil balance. Always stick to used grounds, the kind left behind after you brew your coffee. They're neutral in pH, safe for worms, and just perfect for your plants. Finally, consistency is really more important than quantity here. Feeding your soil with small amounts on a regular basis works far better than one big application. Just think of coffee grounds as a steady worm diet, not a one-time feast. Traditional compost is valuable, no doubt about it. It improves your soil, recycles waste, and adds organic matter. But when it comes to attracting worms quickly and making an immediate change in your soil, coffee grounds just leave compost in the dust. Compost takes time, space, and the right balance of materials. Coffee grounds, on the other hand, skip all that waiting, offering a direct supply of worm food and soil nutrients right away. For gardeners who don't have months to wait, or, who want to see results within just a few weeks, coffee grounds are the shortcut. They don't replace compost entirely, but they sure give you an edge that speeds up soil fertility and worm population growth. This is why experienced gardeners use both compost for long-term soil building and coffee grounds for fast, targeted results. If you've been struggling to attract worms into your garden beds, stop waiting on slow compost piles. The answer is already in your kitchen, waiting to be used. Coffee grounds bring worms faster than compost, create richer soil almost immediately, and fuel your crops with the nutrients they need to thrive. By using the exact formula of 2 cups per square foot or brewing a gallon of diluted coffee tea, you'll transform your soil into a living ecosystem buzzing with worms and life. For gardeners of all levels, this is one of the simplest, most effective secrets to unlock the power of your soil. No expensive products, no complicated methods. Just the daily scrap from your morning routine, repurposed into a worm magnet. And if you found this guide valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button on Growth Hub Central. Share this with fellow gardeners, and keep coming back for more powerful tips that will change the way you grow your food forever.